Let's talk a little more about blend modes and how they actually work. Layers in Procreate are like sheets of tracing paper. When you draw on paper, each new layer sits on top like another sheet. You can move it, hide it, rearrange it. That's how layers work. Blend modes, you open the list by tapping R, are a long list of options that control how one layer interacts with the layer below it. A simple way to think about it: imagine your tracing paper can be tinted, frosted, shiny, or dark. Each type gives a different result. And honestly, there's no point trying to memorize what every single blend mode does, because the result depends heavily on what colors you have on each layer. Quick example to show what I mean. Let's say the bottom layer is filled with green, like a green sheet of paper. On top, I put a new layer. By default, it's always set to normal, and I paint the blinds with yellow. Now, if I just scroll through the blend modes, the blinds change completely. They go black, white, they disappear, they get washed out. So when you're looking for a blend mode, you need to know what you want. For example, I want the blinds to look black. I scroll through and I can see 4 modes at the top all give the same black result. But if I switch to darken, the blinds disappear. On this green background, they vanish. If I turn off the green layer, they come back as yellow on white. That's exactly my point. The result depends on what color is on what layer. There's no universal answer. You pick the mode based on what you're trying to do. Let's go through the typical tasks we deal with in interior and textile design. Task 1. Making a photo lighter or darker. This is the most common one when working with photos and collages. Say a photo looks too dark. Here's what you do. Duplicate the layer. Now you have 2 identical layers, and change the blend mode of the top one to something that makes the image darker. You can try different options. Some will burn the image. It looks overcooked, too dark. Some will brighten it. From experience, multiply works best for darkening. If it's too dark, just lower the opacity a little. If you need to brighten the image instead, same process. Duplicate the layer and set the top one to screen. Different modes can brighten, but some will blow out the highlights on certain photos. Screen works well for most photos, whatever their color and saturation. Again, adjust with opacity. To remember, multiply equals darker, screen equals lighter. Task 2. Placing a drawing on a transparent background. Sometimes you have a drawing or sketch on a white background and you need to place it over a photo or render, but without the white. Erasing it manually takes forever, so blend modes are the shortcut. I take a sketch, let's say a bed drawing on white, and start going through the modes from the top. Multiply removes the white background nicely, but the lines stay black. That's useful when you want to overlay line drawings and keep them dark, but I want white lines on a transparent background. So I keep scrolling. Some modes blow everything out, some do nothing interesting, and then divide the black and white sketch turns into white lines on a transparent background. Exactly what I needed. You can either remember this one or just find it by scrolling when you need it. Task 3. Light coming through a window. This one comes up when you're drawing sunlight on a floor, on a rug, laminate, or any surface, in a plan or a sketch. I draw a white rectangle, like a patch of sunlight on the floor, and blur it slightly. Plain white looks bad. Making it transparent doesn't help either. But if I set the blend mode to add, it already looks much better, though a bit too bright. Lower the opacity and the overexposure goes away. The floor just glows softly. It looks natural. Task 4. Reupholstering furniture and adding fabric to curtains. Another common task. Changing the fabric on a piece of furniture. I take a piece of fabric, duplicate it, flip it, and lay it over a plain colored cushion. This works for anything that's one solid color. Maybe you downloaded a white 3D model, or the object is just flat. You can see the folds and shadows, but the fabric isn't right. I place the fabric on top and resize it if needed. With normal blend mode, nothing happens. It just sits there as a flat patch, no folds, no texture visible. So I start going through modes until the fabric sits on the surface naturally, and the shadows and folds from the layer below show through. Some modes are too bright, some burn the colors, but there's always one, divide, exclusion, I don't even look at the names, I look at the result, that works. That's how you recolor objects while keeping their texture. Same trick works for smaller things. If I want to repaint the blinds and just fill them with color, the texture disappears. It looks flat and painted. But with the right blend mode, the wood texture stays visible. Blur it slightly, and it already looks much more natural than a plain fill. The short version? Some modes you just memorize. I'll list them in the description and in the lesson notes. Others you find by scrolling, depending on what you need. One more thing, merging layers. When you've got the effect you wanted, sometimes you need to merge layers. Most of the time it's fine, but sometimes the effect disappears when you merge. For example, the window light is set to add and the cushion is set to a different mode. If I merge them, the combined layer takes on only one of those modes, and the other effect is gone. So always check after merging. Did everything stay the way you planned? If you need to flatten everything into one layer without losing any effects, use Copy Canvas. The app captures everything exactly as it looks on screen, all blend modes included, and copies it as one flat layer. Paste it, delete the originals, and you have one clean layer with everything preserved. The cushion, the rug, the drawing, all with their own modes baked in. That's it. I hope this made blend modes feel less overwhelming. If this was helpful, subscribe. New videos come out regularly, and if you want to explore the brushes and PNG templates I use in my own client work, the link is in the description.